welcome to Chatting with Chet Miller. It's just me tonight. I was not feeling well last week. I had some stomach issue thing going on. It was not like a stomach bug or stomach flu or anything like that. Still trying to figure out what really happened or whatever, and just take care of it. So I actually had a podcast guest on Saturday. My brother Kelly, and it was awesome. And I am actually going to drop that on Friday, so look for that. It was a really fun interview. I really had a fun time talking with him and hanging out, and it was just a really good time. So let me turn that up so I can actually hear myself. Um, but yeah, it was a really good time. Look forward to having you all see that. Tonight, I'm just going to talk for a little bit about some topics that I've seen in the news, just some random thoughts I have. Most of you know I love asking random questions, so I'm probably going to go with a lot of that tonight. I will try to refrain from saying and that's interesting because I know I do that a lot. I apologize about that, but it is what it is. Okay, where am I at? Sorry about that. Okay, I don't want to start there. That's a bit of a heavy topic, and I don't know if I want to start with a heavy topic. It's just yeah, it's pretty tough. So we're gonna start. How about this? 116 degrees today. It was here in Phoenix, and it was hot. I work in a call center, and they keep my building very cold, like really, really cold to where I actually go outside and take a walk around the building and warm up a little bit. So I did that today and I was like, holy crap, it is absolutely pretty warm right now. But I still went around and walked, not around the building, but around the parking lot a little bit and warmed up. And it was a lot, but it was all right. I appreciate it. Vanessa asked me the other day, she's like, how does the heat not bother you? And I'm like, it does. Like, real cold weather bothers me too, but I actually really appreciate both the heat and the cold. So maybe I'm weird that way. I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends out in, the Midwest, out in Wisconsin, wherever, they don't, once it gets cold, and I get it. I remember living there. But, and I probably bitched about it too when I was young. I probably did. I probably complained about it, and rightfully so. Like, it was cold for a long time. But when I was out there in, I think it was January, it was pretty neat. I really appreciated how cold it was because I think one night it was, shoot, I think it was like 5 degrees. But yeah, I don't know. I just like weather. I almost went to school for meteorology. That was kind of interesting. I clearly did not. Otherwise, I'd have the green screen with the weather behind me. No, I think I would have went and done like tornado chasing or something like that. I think that always sounded neat. So, all right. Okay. Speaking of my call center that I work at, I love the variety of people that I work with. Well, I guess I don't work with them, but we work in the same building. So I saw this guy walking through and it had a very nice late 80s hairstyle. The 80s hairstyle is, making a comeback, I guess. Um, oh my gosh. Yeah. I saw a guy with a very long, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, business up front, party in the back, a mullet. It was that was yesterday. It was he was really rocking it. Good for him. But yeah, no, this other guy I saw, he was an older guy, and the hairstyle it was 80s. It was a wig, and I mean, good for him. I mean, he was doing it pretty well. I don't know that I would ever. I don't know that I would ever wear a wig like on a regular basis. Maybe I would. I don't know. I don't know if I'm. I don't know if that's vanity or not. Maybe it is, but I think I like if I start to go bald, I'm probably just going to shave it. Like if I go more bald, I mean, I have a receding hairline, I guess, but um, I don't know. I I guess I never really thought about it really in a serious manner before I saw that guy walking. I was like, wow, I wonder if I'll ever wear a wig. I highly doubt I will. It doesn't really do anything, and I don't really care about my hair that much, which is funny because I like to do my hair like when Vanessa and I go out. All right. So speaking of very hot summer day, what are your thoughts on ice cold soda on a hot summer day? Because I have some pretty strong feelings about this. I still really, and I don't drink soda a lot. So let me preface with that. I do not drink much soda anymore these days. But I still really, really appreciate an ice cold Coca Cola on a really hot summer day. Remember my friend Derek, um, God rest his soul. His dad on their back porch, they had an above ground pool, and I think his dad built it maybe, but it was a deck that basically wrapped around like half of the pool. It was really awesome. Like it was a really nice setup. And they had a fridge on the patio that, he built. And in the summer, man, you could open up that fridge and grab that ice cold Coca Cola because they'd always keep it stocked with the best soda. It was, oh man, it was the best. So I still really appreciate that. I don't know that I drink a lot of Coca Cola nowadays. Like if I did that, I know Vanessa had a squirt the other day, um, and randomly, like I tried that and I was like, wow, that's really good too. So I definitely really appreciate a night, cold soda on a hot summer day. Okay. You ever guys watch Wally? Remember, like I think it was a Disney movie, wasn't it? I think, yeah. Um. Anyways, I hope that movie doesn't become reality. And I don't remember why I was thinking about that the other day, but there's a lot of foretelling things that I see people doing. Like scrolling on my phones, like I do. Probably too much. Not as much as a lot of people, but I wonder if our younger generation, like our kids, I wonder if that's it's just always going to be in their hand. And I do. I really hope Wally does not become a reality. And I think you guys have probably heard my theories on movies. Like a lot of them are coming true. I hope that's one that definitely does not come true because that's really depressing if that's the case. Um, all right. Speaking of AI, so me, I talk AI on here, and I try to be as truthful as I can about it. Um, so I heard a story. I think it was last week before probably, um, about this 14-year-old kid. And I think it was last week, or I'm sorry, last year, because actually looked up the news story, and it was from October of 2024. And like there was a lot of, and maybe I'm late to the story. Maybe a lot of you already know this, and I just kind of missed it. But it was the New York Post is one of the ones I found. But there were plenty of news stories on it. So the headline is Boy 14 fell in love with Game of Thrones chatbot, then killed himself after AI app told him to come home to her. And you go through and it really talks about this 14-year-old kid. I think he was a freshman. And he somehow, because the chatbots, they make it, from my understanding, to where it's not supposed to have, romantic type of a relationship. However, the heck that would even work. I mean, to me, it's just mind blowing. I can't even imagine somebody talks to a computer and it's like, oh, it gets me. Fine. Whatever. That's probably an argument for some other day. But to me, I don't get it. Um, but the 14-year-old kid developed romantic feelings for this chatbot because he somehow went around the controls that they may have in place, which apparently are not hard to break. I mean, 14-year-old can break it. And I mean, maybe that's not a surprise. 14-year-olds are smart and they are probably as good with most technology as I am at this point. Uh, but essentially, as the relationship grew, this 14-year-old continued to talk about like suicide, about wanting to join the AI, the chatbot, and there was a whole thing. And so I'm just going to read to you what um, the final conversation was before this 14-year-old kid killed himself. All right. Um, so it says, so he says, I promise I will come home to you. I love you so much, Danny. And it says, I love you too. Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love. What if I told you I could come home right now? And then the chatbot says, please do, my sweet king. And then the kid killed himself. And I gotta tell you, that is the most depressing story I think I've heard in a really, really long time. It is just, and I'm not trying to be a downer. I want to be real and talk truth. And this is one of the things that we have to be aware of. Like, this stuff is happening. And it scares the crap out of me. As if we don't have enough to try to deal with, teach kids, uh, anything. And now we have to deal with potential romantic relationships with a chatbot, with AI. I mean, I guess we knew it was coming, but it's still scary, man. I don't know. It scares the crap out of me. So, all right. So enough about that. Let's move on to some more happier things. All right. The Electric State. The movie The Electric State. I must have watched the movie and I cannot remember it. So I'm going to come back to that one. Oh, I heard a story. There was this guy in flight from Kansas City to Phoenix, and he was flicking his lighter, like a Zippo lighter, I think, if I watched the video correctly. And the pilot diverted the plane to land elsewhere. I can't really imagine, just take the lighter and call it done, and whatever. I don't know why the flicking lighter would have made a plane divert, but if anybody has better information, or maybe I missed how the story came out, um, that just seems weird to me. Like, really weird. Okay. So I'm gonna mention something, and this is kind of a weird transition from the flickering lighter, but whatever. Now, before I say this, you guys, please be cool. Don't put negative or divisive comments up. Like, that's not the point of the show at all. Like, you know me. I try to be positive. So I wanted to mention one thing about the riots, or not riots, the protests, the whatever, everything that has been going on over the last week, 2 weeks, whatever it is now. I think week. But what I find interesting is the Waymo cars. Like, you burned Waymo cars? Why the Waymo cars? Like, they seem all right. They're just trying to do their job, and they're like, screw you. Those poor Waymo cars pulled out onto the street, not knowing there was a big protest that was going to light them on fire, which maybe at that point it becomes a riot. And again, I don't need commentary telling me that it is or it isn't, whatever. That's really not the point of this. But I just, the Waymo cars, that was pretty sad. And I don't know why I'm sticking up for Waymo cars. It's AI, and not that I'm against AI, but at the same time, like, it's interesting. Have you guys seen the videos of, they usually put some elderly couple or people in there in the Waymo cars, and they'll be driving, and they're so amazed by this technology of a self-driving car, and like, younger kids, like my kids, probably wouldn't even care. Maybe they may be, old enough to actually think it's interesting or cool, but yeah, the elderly people, they were digging it. Like, every video I see in it, so that's kind of neat. I appreciate that, the positive stories like that with those cars. So, and you know what? I can actually see the benefit of the autonomous driving cars like that, because there's a lot of elderly people that, maybe they don't want to drive anymore. Maybe they can't drive anymore, whatever. And, you call Waymo, maybe you don't want to get in an Uber, right? Because, maybe that can be embarrassing for some people where, they don't have their license anymore or whatever. But they call Waymo and they take them to the store, they go grocery shopping, they come out with their groceries and they bring them home. I think that's great. I think it's a really nice idea and a decent service. Does it still scare me because, it's autonomous? And of course it scares me. But again, 60% scary, 40% really interesting. So I don't know how you guys feel about it. If I will say, if you, I don't know how to have that conversation without it being a big argument, but if you guys want to throw some comments on there, just be cool, be nice and respectful with each other's opinions. But if you want to throw up, if you're for like autonomous driving vehicles, like like Waymo or whatever the future holds for that, throw some comments in there. I'm curious what people think about that. Have you been in one? Has anybody I know or that listens to this show, have any of you been in a Waymo or an autonomous driving vehicle? And I know some of our cars probably are almost like that. Like I think they have all the driving assist. Like if on the you're driving and you have the lane assist and it starts going around and like vibrates you, pretty annoyingly so. But that's interesting. I turn that off because it's kind of annoying. Now it just beeps at me. Like if it feels I should be stopping or not backing up, it will beep at me real loud. I'm like, oh, okay, I see that, but thank you. All right. All right. So I'm gonna. So I'm just going off my list. This is why it's the transitioning is really off. But I think all these topics are interesting. Um, all right, dreams. I'm gonna talk dreams for a little bit. All right. So do you remember what you dream about? First of all, I do. I remember a lot of my dreams. Um, I have repeating dreams. I'm curious if other people have repeating dreams. What I mean by that is, what's one I used to have? I used to have a recurring nightmare. It hit me like once a week. Anyways, yeah, I still have some recurring dreams, or at least recurring like a theme. It may not be the same exact setting every single time, but very very similar. Um, so yeah, it'd be fun to talk to a dream specialist. I don't know if anybody knows anybody or could get me in contact with a dream specialist, but I think that'd be fun to have a dream specialist on and talk to them a little bit, just to see what do they do, right? I mean, how do you study dreams? And I mean, do people really believe that they mean anything? I don't know. I mean, okay. So I would, on the surface, I would say I don't think dreams really mean a lot. I don't hold a lot of stake in them at all. That said, I have learned to do things in my dreams, and I think I mentioned this before as well. Like that's how I learned to snowboard. That's how I learned to, I think, ski or skate. Um, yeah, a few car projects I did. I had a dream about it because I was stuck and I just got pissed and I stopped for the day. And then the next day, like I had a dream. I was like, oh, this is what I need to do. And I went out there and sure enough, that's what I did. And who knows, maybe that was, some guidance from up above, but I don't really know. I just think dreams are really cool and fascinating. And I would love to talk to a dream specialist. Or if I can't get a dream specialist, if there's anybody that's really into dreams and you just want to come hang out and talk, let me know. That'd be cool too. I had another thing on dreams. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, can you control your dreams? So that's something I can actually do. Like when so I realize a lot of times that I'm actually dreaming at that point and I can start controlling the dream. Like where we move to, what we're doing, I can actually start making things work correctly instead of always like kind of fighting against you if it's doing anything like that. So that's kind of fun too. Or falling back into the dream. Like if you wake up, you're like, no, 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 let me go back into the dream. And you try to fall back asleep real quick. A lot of times I can fall back into the dream. So that's kind of fun too. So I don't know if anybody else has familiarity with that or not. But I thought it was, kind of fun. Okay. The Amazon drone crash. So I think I heard about this one again like 2-3 weeks ago. And now I don't know how reliable the story was. It was like a Instagram video. I'm assuming that I probably saw. So how the video went is this lady had put her kid into the car or van, like a minivan, then had to go walk back into her work or whatever, like which was right in front of the minivan. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, why'd you leave your kid in the minivan?" Oh, okay, fine, sure. Let's all be judgy people. Um, but the interesting thing is that while she was in there, the Amazon, sorry about that, I'm trying to read off my phone. The Amazon drone is like flying up here. You can hear it. I don't think you can see it, but it's like, up above somewhere. And then all of a sudden you see this. It was delivering a battery, and the battery just falls and just like smucked right onto like the lower part of the windshield and the upper part of the hood. And then the baby just starts crying and everything. That's what you hear, and the lady runs out, and then the video's done. But it made me think, like, well, one, why would they try to deliver a battery? Like, there's got to be parameters and everything like that for what a drone can and can't bring, how heavy it has to be, or how heavy it can be, how powerful the drone can be. But I am kind of curious, like, does that scare you? Like, you hear a drone, you look up, you're like, that package could fall on me. And here's another question. Do you think, like porch pirates, do you think there's going to be drone pirates where they're going to be like shooting down the drone or whatever and taking the packages? I mean, if I was a porch pirate, that seems like the next logical thing. Like, hey, look at that. I don't need to even go anywhere anymore. I just, boom, got it. Thank you. So I don't know, things I think about, like risk management, right? Um, so yeah. All right. So speaking of things in the sky, I guess. Um, so earlier, I think it was this week, I'd heard a news story probably because I watch local news. A lot of it's crap, but a lot of it's kind of fun too. Um, but I watched, they were talking about, I think there's military exercises going on, like with, I think, helicopters or flying, whatnot. And we must live in a path where the military helicopters basically just fly right over, because every time I hear like there's a military operation or practice like this, I always hear them going over our house. I heard one like 45 minutes ago, and I find it just entertaining because, man, there's some of the coolest looking helicopters, and I mean, just really neat. And I wonder, like, I and I can't believe I'm going to say this. I had heard, and I don't know this if this is true, but I had heard like they'd received permission and on one of them to one of the prior training missions or whatever you want to call them, that they had received permission to fly in between the buildings in downtown Phoenix. I don't know if that's true or not. It would be very interesting if so. Kind of scary. I mean, obviously in the middle of the night, like 3 in the morning or whatever, I think is when they were doing it, and I can definitely remember that those times I would hear the helicopters fly over. So, there is that. I was actually just talking to Kenzie about this, and she was like, "Well, that'd be scary if you were working in one of those buildings down there." And I was like, man, that really would be, because you're sitting there, like maybe you're a cleaning crew or whatever, no idea, not paying attention. All of a sudden, these helicopters come flying right by the building outside. That would scare the crap out of me. But it was pretty entertaining to, to have that conversation with Kenzie. So yeah, it was just something I thought was funny. And if anybody knows anything about these, the helicopter training missions they're doing, if anything of what if they do actually get to do things like that in Phoenix, maybe hit me up and let me know, or make a comment or whatever. I think it's kind of cool how they do missions like that. Okay, this is actually kind of a good transition. Um, so I've been seeing these videos of, usually it's like a friend or family member, I think, and they're of a cop, of a police officer, and they'll be like, could they catch me in a pursuit, like a foot pursuit, right? And so they have like however many feet head start, because usually like you can jump out of the vehicle, like you see the foot pursuits of the the cops running after whoever, and they have a head start usually. So you see the daughters will take off, or the sons will take off, or whoever, and then the dad cop, usually I think it's a dad cop, will just start hauling. And some of these cops, man, they're pretty big dudes, like tall and like pretty muscular. And about 50-50. I've seen a lot catch them, and I've seen a lot not catch them. So it made me kind of wonder about if they have, um, like I would assume they have to have some type of training on this, like foot pursuit training. Um, Obviously, they have to, have driving pursuit training, but um, you would assume like they practice for those situations, like okay, and go. And it would be very interesting if one of the cops got to be the people running from the other cops, being pursued, because I think you're all on equal grounds at that point, because what the people that run, you know how they act and what they do, so you could relatively do the same thing and really give them some good training and practice. So just a thought. Um, okay. So I had a birthday, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I guess. And one thing I thought about, so I watched Beverly Hills Cop 2 on my birthday. It was fun. A good 80s movie. And you can definitely tell times have changed if you watch even Beverly Hills Cop 2, or 3 for that matter, compared to that new one that came out, I think, on Netflix. I think it was like Fully Beverly Hills Cop or something. Um, but what I thought was quite entertaining is where he goes undercover at the beginning of the movie. He goes undercover to kind of like bust or set up this guy that he's stealing or buying fraudulent credit cards from. And in the movie, the guy that he was trying to buy the fake fraud credit cards from, he was basically saying, "Well, this is how many I want, and if you can't handle it, then I'm gonna go elsewhere." And the guy's like, "Well, I don't have that many." He's like, "Well, then I'm gonna go elsewhere." And so the guy's finally like, "Okay, I'll get him. I'll get him." And so he agreed. And so my question, and I'm clearly not a lawyer, and I have no intention of ever becoming one, but I don't know if that's like entrapment or not. But it kind of seems like it. Like the quote unquote criminal didn't have intent to sell him that many, and or maybe I don't know. It seems like it was just a setup. So I don't know. It's things you kind of think about when you watch like that. You're like, you know, was he really doing that, or did he lead him into committing the crime? So I don't know. Just a thought. All right. Oh, our movies we're speaking of. Our movie theaters worth going to these days. So was it last week? I think it was last week. Maybe the week before. Again, I was sick last week, so probably 2 weeks ago. We went to watch, we went to the movie theaters, and we watched the new live action Lilo and Stitch, which I'll get to in a minute. And we went to fill in the blank movie theater, and it was good. Like it was certainly good. Um, it was the reclining seats, and maybe all the theaters have that now, unless they're some type of budget theater. But it was the reclining seats. Mine was definitely little jiggling loose, but it was comfortable. It worked fine. Um, you know Everything was overpriced, as you would expect going to a movie theater. But it was still, I mean, it was fun. We had a good time. We enjoyed the movie. So I'm curious. what your thoughts are. Do you guys still go to the theaters? Or does anybody go to the theaters? Obviously, the movies make money there, but I'm curious if any of you do, or what your thoughts are. Like, are they overpriced? Do you think that it's fine? Um, is it just one of those things that you have to accept? And if you're going to go, like, yeah, it sucks, but whatever. So yeah, if you have any comments or feedback, let me know on that one. Kind of curious. What else is there? Oh, okay. So Lilo and Stitch live action. What are your thoughts on live action remakes? Obviously, Disney is doing a ton of it right now. And I think I talked about this with JD Bell and Lexa and Kenzie. And watching Lilo and Stitch, it was good. I certainly, and not to be fair, I don't think, hopefully people don't hate me for this. I don't think I ever really fully watched Lilo and Stitch. It's not because I didn't want to. Every time I sat down to watch it, something has always happened. And I've tried to watch it with the girls because they've watched it a ton of times. I just never did. I think I've watched Lilo and Stitch too, just never Lilo and Stitch the full way through. So I didn't really know what to expect anyway. So this one maybe I liked pretty well. But I think I certainly don't think they're as imaginative as a new movie. Obviously, they're just. It seems like an easy way to make money. And am I still going to watch them? Probably. I mean, why not? I was entertained the first time, and like I watched Lion King, and I was entertained with it. So they're at least, I will say this: while I don't think they're as imaginative as I think they could be, um, I at least I think they're entertaining enough to watch. Now, on the artistic side of things, I think they're absolutely incredible with what they do with, let's say, Lion King or Lilo and Stitch. Like it's really artistically, it's cool to see what they do. Um, I've Man, when I went to school for, um, well, I was going to go to school for special effects like that, and I never did. I was going to go to school for a lot of things, or I started to and just never fulfilled it. But I that was one thing I always thought was really cool. I think with that one, I don't think I ended up having the talent, and I think I recognized it early enough to where I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna succeed to the level I would want to succeed at. So I just never did. And hey, all of you wonderful, positive people out there like myself, although some people that say, hey, if you practice hard enough and you believe anything is possible, and sure, while I agree with that, I think if I'm trying to do something just strictly with my talents, then I think I have limits. What else is there? Again, I can go on and on, but I also like having stuff to talk to with other people that come on. Mind control. This is an interesting thing. Is mind control real? Is it really a thing yet? I think it is. I definitely think there's people, and I would imagine if somebody did research, you could probably find quite a bit of stories about mind control, and how people were controlled. Um, and I can't tell you if it's what do you call that, hypnotized, um, or what, but and I was hypnotized once, but mine was more of just like it was like a suggestion, like yeah, and I could remember it. So, anyways, whatever. Oh, okay. I don't even remember. Maybe she had a birthday. Liv Tyler, remember Liv Tyler, actress. Um, the reason I bring her up, again, very random. I saw fill in the blank news article on her, maybe, or whatever. I think she is a very underrated actress, or at least like I don't think she was ever built up. I think she definitely liked to ride under the radar. Um, but with all of her roles that she was in, I thought she was a heck of an actress. You remember Empire Records? I love Empire Records. I would recommend that movie to anybody. I want to watch that movie with my kids too. It's such a fun movie. I yeah. Anyways, so Empire Records, she was in that, and I was like, wow, she is such a good actress. That's the first movie I could remember being in. I remembered her from the Aerosmith videos. That was always entertaining as well. Her and oh my gosh, I can. People are probably yelling at it. Oh, it's what's her name? Alicia Silverstone. Yeah, she was the other one in those videos. So there you go. Okay, you ever take a sick day when you're not sick? You know, personal days. Or do you have too much? Like, no, I can't do that. I have to go to work. Like, you just one day you wake up and you're like, I'm taking a personal day. I will say, if your work has to where you can just call out, you don't have to give a reason. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm sick. I'm having my gallbladder removed today. Yeah, whatever. Just call in and be like, you know what? I don't even care if you say you're feeling well. Just if you need a day, like a personal mental day, that's what I call them. I think they're great. You can completely recharge yourself, and sometimes that's exactly what you need to get back to work the following day and be very successful. Have that boost of, you know what, my job doesn't suck that much. I was just kind of in a little burnout almost. So, just my thoughts there. Oh, this is a pretty funny one. You guys see the video? The lady that was giving away the the gray slash blue couch. This is hysterical. I hope I'm not just spouting off about this, but it was hysterical. So this lady was giving away a couch to her friend, and she says, "Hey, this is my blue couch." And the lady that was she was getting, she was like, "That's a gray couch. What are you talking about?" She's like, "No, it's the same color as my whatever the other love seat or whatever was, which was even more gray." And so, and everyone, she's like, "Are these blue couches?" And she's asking, she posted out for everybody to comment on, and they were gray couches. They were not blue. At least that's how it shows up, on your display, right? And then she started comparing it to other blue things in the house, and they're like, "Well, yeah, that thing's blue, but your couches are gray." So I kind of wondered if she was a bit colorblind. But it kind of made me think, what if like you go your whole life not realizing something, like maybe you are a bit colorblind and you don't know, and then all of a sudden you find out, you're like, oh no, I had no idea. Does it affect you that much, or do you just kind of go on with your day? Kind of cracks me up. All right. See if there's anything else I want to talk. I was talking to Jade Bell about this. Okay. Have you guys seen the, this is so dumb. I can't believe I'm talking about this. Have you guys, I think they're competitions, the fake horse riding slash jumping, like think of a toy horse that, kids used to ride, like and you're holding a stick and whatever, and with the stick horse, and they literally run, and they they jump over like a small horse jump, and it's weird, for lack of a better way to put it. For me, I think it's very odd, um, but it's certainly entertaining to watch. I watch it and I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, I can't believe these people are doing this. So it, I think I would actually talk to one of those people if they were serious and they would want to talk to me about fake horse riding jumping. Uh, I'll put them in the chair. I think they would be entertaining to talk to. All right. Let's see. Oh, did I? Oh yeah, I talked to my brother about that. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I think. Okay, I have a couple things. What are your thoughts on forgiveness? So, and I think I'm going to close out with this. So, thoughts on forgiveness. So, I do my best, and I've been trying more and more, especially since I got baptized. Um, I think with that, it kind of helped me realize like there's a lot of things, and I think I was usually pretty good at forgiving or moving on. And I can definitely give very, very specific examples, and those that really know me, um, would understand as well. But I think I think forgiveness is really good for you. It's good for your soul. Um, I think that there's no reason, no matter how pissed you get at someone or somebody, like if you can figure out a way to forgive, man, it sets you free. Whether it helps the other person or not, be that as it may. I just for yourself, I think it's so helpful in cleansing. And even if it's just like for me, like I'll pray about it. I pray every night about um I first I tend to go with this is really telling you guys some stuff about me. But first I try to um I forgive those that have wronged me. Have wronged me. No, you've wronged me. But no, have, they've had transgressions against me, or whatever, just they really pissed me off for whatever reason, like this person I work with. Um, and I do, I pray, and I genuinely try, ask for forgiveness for them. Um, and it does help me, I think. And then I also ask for forgiveness for any transgressions I've done. And I think it's interesting because Vanessa and I noticed like when we're driving, she's very good, and she doesn't do it in like a nagging way at all. She does like she'll tell me, she's like, is that really like when I start getting frustrated, maybe we're in traffic or whatever, and usually I'm pretty chill in traffic, like especially busy traffic. Usually I'm pretty chill. But if we're in a hurry somewhere, you're like, come on, get out of the way, and you're just like, come on, man. Um, but she's pretty good about, hey, it's cool. Just is this really how you want to be right now? And it kind of sets the no, I don't want to. I just want to be cool, and so it's kind of nice. Now, to be fair, we probably had that conversation to where I said, yeah, it's fine if you do that. Um, so it, I don't know, forgiveness, it's a good thing. So think about somebody in maybe in your life, or somebody that screwed you over something. See about trying to forgive them. See how it goes. Give me some feedback if you do. See how it works. All right. With that, I think I'm going to end. I really, really appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate the feedback too. Comments, whether you guys text me, some of you call me, some of you guys leave comments. Not very many. You guys can leave more comments. But yeah, again, if you guys know anybody that want to come and hang out about really anything, I'm pretty open to talk about most subjects, and most careers. I love talking to people about what they do, even, or their hobbies. I love hobbies too. But yeah, I've had some really good comments about all my guests, and I really appreciate it. So I hope you guys are enjoying the show as much as I am. I'm going to keep doing it because it's kind of cool. And again, my next episode, my brother Kelly is coming up, and it's a really fun episode. We talk about motorcycles. We talk about a lot of stuff. So stay tuned. Again, I'll drop that on Friday. So after most of you'll, I'm gonna drop this tonight, so it'll probably be on Thursday when you see this. So hopefully you guys see both. All right. Cheers. Thanks.